Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of Far Beyond the World. So the last place we left off, we were actually on our way to the feast to meet the rest of the tribe, and we stumbled across, well, we didn't stumble across, we kind of led right into one of Rannick's friends. I cannot remember his name. Damn it. But anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy. Let's jump right into it, and let's see how the evening progresses. Alright, Alarm Chain, you're up. Alright, here we go. Alright. I discreetly look to Rannick, and although he's clearly uncomfortable at the insinuation, I can see his tail gives idle flicks of content. Perhaps he was after payback, even subconsciously. Wise wolf has a mind of his own. Varric often acts before thinking. Hot-headed chief is one thing, but being a fool who blindly follows him off a cliff is another. Well, I have to agree. I won't comment on that. Rannick mutters nervously while the other wolf erupts in laughter, patting him hard on the back. That's what I like about you, boy. You never speak ill of your old man, even if at times he deserves it. That's a true wolf. And like that mousy little gnat of mine, I swear he was whining like a bitch in heat the whole day. Sounds like I might have overdone it a little. Considering how territorial he gets around me and that my life was put on the line, yeah, he might have. I struggle to contain a blush. Nonsense! Let it be a lesson learned. Never disrespect your alpha. He's the one in charge of your life. If you cannot trust him with it, you're either a fool or in the wrong pack. Vither huffs as he makes his point. I would never dismiss Dryer from my pack. He's a good fit. Which makes him a fool. And don't worry, I also had a little talking to with your old man as well, to put him straight. I blink. Making a scene like that, unbecoming. You deserve better. Vithier. No, he needed to hear it, and deep down he already knew it. You are to be his heir, Rannick, an heir. The brown wolf speaks sternly, reiterating the sentence so that the meaning can truly sink in. How can he expect us to entrust the future of our people into your paws when he himself does not trust your judgment? He won't admit it to your muzzle, but he regretted that little spectacle. Rannick's saddened expression turns into a slight smile, full of gratitude. I guess Vithier is almost like a secondary father figure to him, one that always fights in his corner. It's quite touching, and it's nice to know that the chief is less rigid than he appears to be. Knowing that he allows someone to call out his mistakes on knowing that he allows someone to call him out on mistakes changes my perspective on the old male. Anyways, enough of that. Vithier waves his paw. I've heard about the hunt, lad. I lost a barrel of ale because of you. The wolf chuckles and Rannick grimaces. I told you not to take that wager. At least Dryer didn't win either. Last thing my pup needs is a barrel of ale to drown his beaten ass in. Ha ha! He lets out another bout of laughter. But damn that mad wolf! With just a dagger, clear maniac. Reminds me of me in my youth. I try not to smile, clear in agreement about the epithets bestowed on Vool. Keeping my dumbfounded facade gets harder the more personal conversation gets, so I decide to divert my attention from it. I simply let them talk about the hunt some more as I distract myself with a display outside of Vithier's house. He has a small stall with different pastries lying about on metal trays. Some are speckled with cream, some with fruit. A strawberry tart looks extremely delicious. Ha! The human pup is a sweet tooth. Reminds me of someone I know. The wolf winks to Rannick and approaches me. Oh my god! Yes! Oh yes! Please, all in my face. Oh my god, that all looks so incredible. He picks one of the trays and pushes it towards my face. Here! I look up to him with slight confusion. I'm not sure what to do. Rannick was quite adamant I should avoid other wolves. Take whichever one you like. I've been baking them with you in mind. He doesn't understand. My wolf tries to aid me, and I look back at him with worry. I know, but I can see he's not a dumb beast either, eh? The male ruffles my hair, nodding towards the tray, and I simply smile in gratitude. My gluttony takes the best of me. I cannot resist such powerful baked goods. I pick up the tart which was seducing me with its strawberry delight and bite in. Oh, Lord. How much do I owe you? Rannoch, do not offend me, boy. It's on the house. Been a long time since I got to bake anything. My face lights up at the delicious jam melting in my mouth. Seeing the poor sod smile is payment enough. I hope he enjoyed the bread. Oh, yes, he was very much pleased by it. I looked at them with slight surprise, so this is where Rannoch got it from. Well, it was an old Tiggery recipe. It was nice to dust it off again. Right, better be off. Your father detests tardiness. When in sour mood, Varric makes for a poor drinking companion. He laughs bombastically, and I cannot help but smile. I just wanted a quick look at that little freak, before he'll get swarmed by the onlookers at the feast. I'll join later, once I close down the shop. Thank you. Rannoch nods and waves at me to join his side as he walks towards the center of the village. Once the other wolf is out of sight, I move slightly closer to him. He seemed nice, I mumble idly, enjoying my treat. He is, but don't let that fool you. Vithir is my father's childhood friend. He's been nothing but kind to me ever since I was a pup, but by no means he's indicative of the tribe's mood. I nod. I'll stay on my guard. Good. I suspect that the rest of today's interactions won't be as pleasant. Rannoch, I'm already stressed enough as it is. Ha! Sorry, don't mind me. So far, you're doing great. He winks at me reassuringly, but I'm completely lost in my dessert. Considering we're going to a feast, it's a bit odd to start with sweets, but by the moon, this tart is worth it. The spring strawberries are actually quite sour, and they clash perfectly with the sweet camphor beneath them. It's so good! I exhale quietly between each bite. I'm glad you like it. I had a hunch you would. Pastries aren't our kind of treats. They're typical for Tigeron, though. Or more specifically, their upper classes. I roll my eyes, sighing heavily. Again, he implies I'm some long-lost tiger nobility. How would that even work? Luckily for us, Vithir spent several years of his life as an envoy in Strandbard. He's quite versed in Tiggery ways. That would explain why he was friendly and courteous. Both traits seemingly lost on the Wolven tribes. Who knows? He might help us get some of your memories back. I doubt it, but I'm not going to dim Rannoch's hope. I mean, who knows? Maybe he will help. And if I get to eat more of his pastries, we all win regardless of the end result. Ooh, interesting. As we enter the clearing around which the village is centered, I immediately spot a large white stone standing upright. It reflects the light of the sunset, seemingly glowing on its own accord. I stop in my tracks, looking to Rannoch with a risen brow, and the wolf smiles back in understanding. It's our tribe's menhir. It was erected by the very first wolves who settled here thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago? It almost sounds ridiculous, as to my reckoning, sapient wolves aren't even a week-old state of affairs. But I cannot dwell on that for long, as my attention is immediately drawn to a small walled-up depression which contains what looks like 2 prison cells. They are carved into the side of an incline which leads to the upper side of the settlement. Those are the stockades. I nod, finishing the tart. Now that I realize what my alternative accommodations would have looked like, being cooped up in the cottage doesn't seem all that bad. I'd rather stay where I am currently held, thank you very much. Don't worry, I'll never let them lock you up like some sort of criminal. Yeah, that I can believe. However, there being 2 cells, it would be incredibly hard for him to do anything, if he were to end up in the other one. Incarceration seems to be a form of spectacle for this community, prison in plain view and above a central stage to issue judgment and punishment from. A fitting focal point for this harsh, militarized society, entertainment for the masses and a warning to those who would ever consider stepping out of line. It really makes the wholesome image of this village turn on its head. My stomach churns a little, and I wonder if it's the tart or the dread I feel when looking at the stockades. Don't pay it any mind. Rannoch pulls me in closer. Kitty! Kitty! Rannoch pulls me in closer, almost as if trying to reassure me. Likely he picked up on my sudden mood shift. In either situation, I would have found it endearing. However, it keeps reminding me that he simply is a walking lie detector. His animalistic abilities to read me like an open book entice me as much as they freak me out. However, I'm quickly distracted by the most unexpected of sights. Wait, is that Vool? I almost gasped when I noticed a familiar black wolf behind a counter of what looks like the village's meat shop. Yep, that's his butchery, all right. We approached the building slowly, drawing the attention of our friend. Piglet. The male nods towards me, while giving Rannick a challenging snicker. What? Almost begs the question which one is taking which for a walk. He snorts and I cannot help but chuckle. Ha ha, very funny. It is to me. Vulgar winks at me, and he reaches up for a large joint suspended from a hook. You're not coming? Have to finish here first, the male mutters as he places what I assume is a cow's hind leg on the counter. I shudder slightly as the wolf chops heavily at it, splitting it with his massive cleaver and smiling toothily at my squeamish reaction. I'll join you there in a bit. After all, gotta make sure you won't choke on my boar. In the corner of my eye, I can see a wolf warrior in the stop in his tracks, standing some distance from us and staring at me intently. He seems completely enthralled by my appearance, and it feels as if he's undressing me with his gaze. Not that there's much to take off, which makes me extremely self-aware of my near-nakedness. We're lucky Delrin isn't here. That would have easily descended into a shit show. He hasn't returned yet? Rannick's voice betrays a hint of concern. Nope. Fool sighs uncomfortably. Neither have Regera. But I'd not bring it up at the table if I were you. He slams his cleaver at the meat again, easily cutting off another slab and causing my heart to skip a beat. Your father is already pretty testy on account of that walking pork chop. The wolf points at me with the bloodied blade, and I cannot help but gulp loudly. I turn my face away, noticing the stranger still standing there. His penetrating stare continues to cause me discomfort, and I pull my cloak tighter to shield as much of my skin from view as possible. This finally draws Vol's attention, and he immediately darts his eye from me to the wolf behind us. What are you looking at? Nothing, just lost in my thoughts. The warrior blurts out, thrown off as he was called out so blatantly. Then hit the bricks before you lose your teeth as well. The black male growls nastily, his fangs on full display. This causes the intruder to scramble in panic, rushing off into the distance as if chased by a wild beast. Fool. He'll have enough gawking at the feast. He doesn't need any now. Although he might need to steel his resolve a little. Once again, Vol points at me with his cleaver. Especially with Tano around. His red irises center on me, as if piercing right through my flesh, and I feel naked once again. Well, it is what it is. Rennick steps in and pushes the cleaver away from my face. I'm sure by the end of the night we'll have something to laugh or curse about. He slams his cleaver into the meat again, causing another sickening squelch, followed by a cracking of bone. We prey on weakness, and this one practically smells of fear. And just like that, my heart rate spikes, causing Rannick's ears to twitch. You know, you never fail to freak him out. That's very helpful. Rannick subdues a slight growl of annoyance. Especially now. Vul sighs, rolling his eyes. I freak him out? This little piggy nearly pissed himself just because of an onlooker. If he cannot handle a little teasing, how he'll manage. All he needs is a little encouragement. Is that too much to ask? The Grey Wolf states sternly, giving him an aggravated look. Vul takes a deep breath and looks back at me with a softer expression. It almost looks as if he was about to apologize, but instead he simply sighs. Be it on your head. He waves us away, and we're about to leave when he gives me one of his kinder gazes. Just don't get killed, Piglet. If I haven't got to do it, at least don't give the pleasure to some second-rate wolves. And he ruined it, as he always does. I just roll my eyes and allow Rannick to lead me away. I guess that's as good as you'll get from him. Don't mind him, you'll do great. Rannick reassures me, most likely acting on my shifting moods. I'm not aided by the fact that there are many hostile eyes focusing on me the deeper into the village we get. Relax! The feasting grounds are just on the other side, near the forest's edge. He smiles as he walks through the square and follows a path between the houses toward the woods. Oh, God, poor Orien. Eventually we arrive at an opening with a massive bonfire at its center, surrounded by tables and benches on three sides. I'm taken aback by how amazing the feasting grounds look, with cloth screens protecting the sides and a large pavilion erected over the central table. There are dozens upon dozens of wolves walking about their business, some already sitting and making merry, while others stopping in their tracks to look at us with disbelief in their eyes. I can see protective mothers pulling their pups closer in fear, as if I were a wild animal. There's a clear mixture of fascination and concern in the eyes of those we pass by. This is so surreal. I'm deep inside of a wolf den, yet the wolves seem more likely to huddle to the walls than to attack me. I can hear some of the warriors growl softly as we pass them, causing Rannick's arm to wrap around me and pull me closer to his side. Finally, we arrive near the central table, with the gathered wolves looking at us expectantly. I can see the chief in the distance, talking with one of the older males. Although he's deep in conversation, his eyes are locked on me. Ugh, not him. Rannick draws my attention to a slender white wolf with painted blue patterns on his arms and cheek. Remember what we said. Tano is very perceptive. Under no circumstances can he learn that you understand our language. I simply nod. With a gentle nudge, I follow Rannick towards the table, where we are immediately intercepted by the white male. Oh, wow, okay, that's Tano. Huh. He's eyeing me out intensely, causing slight discomfort. So, this is the infamous human. For someone supposedly with one leg in the great beyond, he seems quite fine to me. Varissa took good care of him. Indeed. He narrows his eyes. A testament to her skill, I'm sure. Are you implying something? I nearly jump up as the female comes up from behind, placing her paw on my shoulder. She moves almost without making a sound. Not at all, but considering your inexperience, I think it best to have the whelp checked up on by one of the elders. Wouldn't you agree, Chief? I've seen him bleed, that's proof enough. The other male waves his paw at the question. I almost sigh in relief. Any sort of examination will put an end to our charade. Now, let's get this damn thing started. I've been running the whole thing on a dry muzzle. The chief looks to one of the servants to fill up his horn, and I realize that all attendants are some form of rabbit men. There's 6 of them, and they're quite small, pretty much my size, and look rather disarming and cute. They don't wait on anyone per se, but simply ensure the tables are stocked up on food and drink. The only exception, of course, is the chief, who gets everything delivered to his paws. I guess they are the Sylvan folk I've been reading so much about. There's one rabbit in particular, a scrawny brown little thing with a rather annoyed expression eyeing me out with similar intensity as Tano does. He doesn't hide he has some sort of grudge against me, and I bet my bottom dollar it's Trist. Hope we get a good look at them later. Ooh, that looks delicious. Quiche! It's quiche! What else can we think? Lots of nuts, lots of fruit, lots of veggies. Looks good. Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, give me some of that. Okay. Ooh, give me some of that, too. Ah, delicious. Rannick notices my discomfort and takes it as a cue to lead me towards the table, intent on taking the seats next to his father's chair. Nuh-uh. Tano sways his finger, preventing me from following the gray male. I don't think it's a good idea to have an outsider seated so close to the chief. I'm sure he'll be fine here. The white male presents a spot on the bench next to him. I look at Rannick with worry. He's my charge. He sits with me. He doesn't look nor smell like your charge. Besides, he could be dangerous. He's wounded. Come to think of it, he doesn't look that either. This little exchange draws the chief's attention, and I have to do something. I sigh, realizing that it's best if I simply follow the cues given and sit where I'm told to end this discussion. It's not much of a problem, as the seat is directly opposite Rannick, but the male is visibly unsettled by my choice and our effective separation. I'll move, then. He stands up, intent on staying by my side, so much for trusting me. What are you talking about? You'll sit on my right, as is your place. The chief says sternly, finally plopping down in his chair and forcing Rannick to do the same. Oh, there's the bunny. The funny bunny approaches the table, taking point slightly behind the chief and continuing to give me off-putting looks. Tano can handle the human. It will be my honor. I already do not like you. But I widen my eyes at Rannick to signal that he's making a scene, when I suddenly feel Tano's paw slide across my underbelly towards the dressing. I instinctively slap it away, and we both lock startled gazes, surprised I would dare to hit him. Ha! Feisty for someone so small. He's the one to talk. He's the smallest wolf I've seen so far, not counting pups. He laughs it off to my relief while I try to feign a painful grunt. Keep your paws to yourself. Rennick issues a muffled growl. Why so protective? Tano smirks, and I struggle to contain an annoyed sigh at Rennick's lack of discretion. Even Trist is tracing his eyes between me and the Grey Wolf with a rather curious gaze. Was only trying to check. Well, don't. Luckily, Verissa joins in, looking angrily at the White Wolf from the other side of the table. Your dirty paws can make the wound infected. And he says I am the inexperienced healer. Ah, man. Ah, this is so good. New characters! And two of them I don't really like so far. Well, I'm kind of neutral on him right now. He hasn't said a damn thing. And he is just being an ass. As is probably... so Rannick was pretty much right about him. Yeah. He's a bit of an ass. Very full of himself. Well, I guess it kind of has to make up for his shorter stature among the wolves. Like, literally. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I'm going to put another link. I'm going to keep linking to the Ukrainian bundle. So anyway, guys, please support Ukrainian artists and donate whatever you can. You get, like, the bundle is over 900 games. And I think the minimum price is like $10. Like, you're getting almost 1,000 games for like $10. That's insane. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Oh, let me do that again. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!